6 weeks, done. Okay, this is Friday, October 4th. Special topics in network administration. We talked a little bit more about communication rules inside a wired network, talked a little bit about data transmission, and we showed the video on grit, and there was a discussion forum to fill in. So if you didn't get it filled in, you can still do that. Okay, then I allowed some time for question and answers. Okay, protocols for communications. We have some type of rules. So for example, when we send a piece of information through a network, we send this data, we somehow have to be able to read the data when it gets to the other end, from the source to the destination. In between there, it goes across something. For example, Friday we talked about wire, and Ethernet is the protocol. So there's some rules, and for example, for the source we have, and the destination, we typically will have a combination of a physical and logical address, like a MAC address for the physical address, an IP address for the logical address. Now the IP internally would be a private IP, public, and public, there's a public IP that it gets network address translation, gets converted from one to the other. We pinged the computer up front for me so we could see those returns. So we did a ping, and so we get some data, one and a half the alphabet, and then that gets sent down. It's not encrypted. Presentation, how we're going to present the data. For as an example, it could get encrypted there. The application's hooked into this ping. Then how we're going to transport it. The data split into segments and given a port number. And we're either going to make sure it gets there, or we're just going to send it. This would be used like when streaming. This would be used like accessing a web page. We'd study that more later on. Then at the network, we have a segment. Then at the network, we create a packet. We add the IP address in there. Then at the data link, we add the physical MAC address, and then it's called a frame. And then it's put on the wire. The physical figures out how to represent the ones and the zeros on the wire, typically by altering the voltage. Okay, and then what we did here, we looked at Wireshark, and there we could see, you could see the frame part, the packet part, and this part. And we'll look at that more next Friday. So in Wireshark, we looked at the data, and there was an A, a B, a C, the data that was sent by the ping. Got us some data to send, and the ping sends it to some destination, and then it sends a response back. And so we looked up in the ASCII code, that's a 97, and it's the letter A. So the A is really here being represented by a bunch of ones and zeros, if we're referring to the ASCII code. And if we were going to list the B here, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, that would be the next one. That would be a 0, and that would become a 1. if you're counting in binary. Okay. So we should be chapter 3 in the curriculum. You got to make sure the grit was filled in. We're going to talk about that next time. And we're going to do quite a bit of work on Friday on chapter 4. We'll talk a lot about that IP address. That's it.